This is an expensive option. I mean, honestly, I've got 5 tents, 5 for hiking, for getting out there in the outdoors. I'm not talking about tents you just stick up and you sit at a caravan site. And this is an expensive tent, but the option of having the tent option, as in pressing the button on your 18.5 inch screen in your Cybertruck and being able to turn the actual tray into a tent, it's a really cool feature, but it's not cheap. Hello my friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking tent mode. It's something that people are wondering, what is it? What's tent mode? Well, you don't actually need the Cyber tent. So there is a Cybertruck Basecamp. Basecamp is a tent you can put on the tray of your Cybertruck, but to use tent mode, you don't even need to use that. But using, of course, buying the Basecamp for $2,975 does give you more space. You can sit up and do more, read books, etc. That said, first of all, tent mode. Do you need the tent? No, you don't. Tent mode means that Tesla have vents. They can keep it air conditioned in the actual bed of the truck for you. They can keep it cool. They can keep it warm, whatever you want it to be. And also, I mean, if it's closed, you would eventually kind of suffocate unless you've got enough oxygen coming in. Because when it's closed, you're probably not going to get much oxygen in. It means it's a bit of a problem. So having tent mode actually pipes in air into the actual tray, meaning you can sleep in there. I think it's a really great option. And because the bed is 6 foot long, that's about the average length of like a hiking tent, then you can definitely sleep in that. Even if you say 6'4", you can go diagonally. If you want to go diagonally, you could be up to 7 foot, to be honest. That'd be no problems. But you could fit a couple of people, probably 3 people in the actual tray of the tent. The size of the bed is similar to a 3-person hiking tent. So that does give you that option, tent mode. I like that idea. I think other brands should do it. Now, what is the Basecamp? Well, Basecamp is the tent that you can buy as an add-on for $2,975. I think it's pretty expensive. Does look good though, but there will be aftermarket options that are similar to this. There already is. I know there already is, where they won't cost you $3,000, but they won't be Tesla branded either, if that matters to you. Anyway, the tent is kind of styled a little bit like the Cybertruck, so it's quite edgy. I think that's what Tesla were going after. Looking at this ad, I mean, who made this ad? Guys, when I worked in marketing and we made an ad like this would have been a little bit embarrassing. I mean, the actual images are kind of cool. Where they drove, it looks awesome. Like, what a great location. But then the chairs they used, they're clearly not camping chairs. They're like from someone's kitchen. I mean, they used a table from someone's office. It's like they got office furniture. But anyway, other than that, I really enjoyed the ad. Just a couple of things that the guys working at Tesla could do better. So what else do you get with this Basecamp? Well, first of all, you can order this right now. You can get onto Tesla's website. You can order the Basecamp tent. I don't know how long it'll take to get one, but I don't know how long it'll take to get your Cybertruck either. So if you want one, yeah, jump on now, because I think a lot of people will order them. So yeah, what I'm suggesting is, if you want to get one, it's going to take you a long time to get delivery of this. So jump in now. Anyway, before I talk about this, there is a $24,000 camper option from Space Campers. It's the Cyberlander. I made a video about the Cyberlander. It was a surprisingly popular video because the Cyberlander is quite an interesting product. It's almost like a house that sits on the back of your tray. I don't know how it would fit though, because now the tray is different. It's 6 foot long instead of 6.5 foot long. So I'm not sure if the Cyberlander will still work. Anyway, there is another option. It's $449. It's the Tesloid Model Y tent attachment. So you can see that something like that, they're going to have a Cybertruck version very soon. They just need to know the dimensions and they can build it. And it'll probably be, maybe less than $1,000 if you want to get that instead of this. That's probably what I would be doing. But anyway, looking at the integration of the tent, looking at the inside and the outside, it does look like Tesla's put quite a bit of work into making this tent fit the bed really, really well. And I like the option of having that vestibule on the outside to keep your things dry. How you can put the poles out there to have like that overhang spot where you can put your gear and stuff to try and keep it dry. It's not overly big though. Now, from what I can see, there is one problem with the design of this. It looks like it doesn't because of the position of them, it looks like you can't actually close the tailgate when you've got the tent on there. So if that's a problem for you, if you want to be able to close that tailgate to avoid anything will be able to get into the tent, that could be a bit of protection, then this isn't the right tent for you. So let's say you're camping in places where there's bears and you think, well, I had the tailgate closed, maybe it's less likely a bear's going to jump in. I don't know if it would be, probably wouldn't make much difference, to be honest, but if that's something that matters to you, then it looks to me like you can't close the tailgate when the tent is actually set up. One thing is that you can see a photo showing how the tent stashes into the truck bed, and it looks pretty impressive. It allows lots of space underneath so you can use the bed for gear. It seems well designed, and it's similar to other products that exist for pickup trucks right now. So how do you set it up? Well, Tesla says that the Basecamp inflates via a manual pump. So you actually inflate the tent instead of using structural poles. Screen windows on the side obviously allow a pretty good view, which I think is a nice feature, and it gives it more airflow, which is good so you don't get condensation. A lot of people say, it's raining on the inside of my tent. What's going on? It's condensation from your own breath. So having that ability to air the tent out, having those spots on the side where you can actually allow your condensation to escape, that's a really smart feature. Tesla says the outside is weather resistant, but how weather resistant, we don't know. But Tesla says the outlets in the truck's bed are accessible from the Basecamp, and you can use something called tent mode. So what this means is you can plug in your power points, your laptop, your phone charger into the actual power points in the bed. You have access to those power points even when the tent is set up. That's a pretty cool feature. So it's sort of like almost the convenience of home in terms of being able to power your own devices whilst you're in your tent. And like I said, tent mode can be turned on as well. So that'll work for you if you want to keep it warm in there. If it's like really cold, snowing, you can turn on the heater, and the truck itself will keep you at a really nice temperature. If it's too hot, that's probably more likely to be the situation. Too hot, you're sweating in your tent. Maybe it's down somewhere Southern California, maybe towards Texas. You can turn on the AC, and of course it will use some of your battery, but not a huge amount, I don't think. Guys, what are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. Would you consider buying it? I think it's overpriced. I do like it, but I think it's just that little bit expensive.